Assemblyman Anthony Brindisi in studio. We're talking about this tax deal. A bit of an obstacle last night when we learned this is going to push the deficit up by $1 trillion.
And I think that's why you saw two Republican senators who are deficit hawks say, whoa, let's hit the brakes here and figure out what's going on. We don't want to see the economic growth not be projected what it's supposed to be projected, and we don't want to add another $1 trillion to the deficit because it's going to ruin the economy at the cost of taking money out of very important programs like Medicare and Social Security that impact seniors in this area. And
then the issue on this exemption here in New York State. Well, this is a big deal here for people.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal, and we have a congresswoman who voted to basically allow this thing to go forward, and now is backtracking on her vote, saying that it's a line in the sand if the state and local deduction is not in there.
Do you believe that her best position was had all the Republicans voted no initially to the House bill?
I think she should have done what the other Republicans like John Faso and Elise Stefanik did, is vote for what's in the best interest of the people they represent in New York State, and not give away all your leverage by allowing this bill to go forward out of the House to go into the Senate, where it's gotten even worse, and then saying, well, I got to draw a line in the sand now. The line in the sand, the time to draw a line in the sand was when the bill was in the House, and you let it go forward.
And keep an eye on this Stefanik. She was Fox News Sunday's Power Player of the Week 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Pretty interesting. And the youngest member to ever be elected to, female anyway, ever be elected to Congress. Rodger in Oriskany wants to talk tax reform. He's waited patiently, and we have you on the line. Rodger, you're on with Assemblyman Anthony Brindisi.
Yes, forgetting the politics in this. For example, let's say a couple making $80,000 a year. They can take $24,000 right off the top of their income, which pushes their adjusted income like to $56,000. So how is that not a tax break for anybody that could take a $24,000 standard deduction right off the top of their income? Could you answer that?
Well, first of all, the average household income in the 22nd Congressional District is about $48,000–49,000 a year, not $85,000.
All right, so take 24 off that then. So
well,
anytime you could take 24 off it, your adjusted is going to be less, so you're paying less tax. See my point?
It's actually not true. If you look at studies that have been done by the National Association of Realtors, others just in this congressional district, so people who are single, I'll take single filers for example, 60% of the zip codes in the 22nd Congressional District of people earning under $200,000 a year will see a tax increase. 10% of married filing jointly in this congressional district will see a tax increase, because when you take away the ability to deduct your state and local taxes, the ability to deduct your medical expenses, the ability to deduct out-of-pocket costs,
when it all comes out of
student loan debt. When you look at all of it, if you want to look at one, if you want to look at one piece of it, if you want to look at one piece of it and say yes, this will result in a tax cut, that's fine. But you have to look at everything in its totality and look at everybody earning under $200,000 in this congressional district, and you will see that it results in a tax cut and a tax increase. That's because it's not just me saying that. You have groups like AARP just came out yesterday saying
the groups could be slanted too. I mean, let's go into just facts. How many people?
But Rodger, these are not partisan groups. The National Association of Realtors or the AARP or the Association of Builders and Contractors or Home Builders, these are not partisan groups. These are groups that want what's best for the economy in New York State. And when they're coming out and saying that this is going to result in a tax increase for most middle-class New Yorkers, we have to take notice of that. That's something that's very important, I think.
But let's just look at an average person in this area. You say making $40,000 a year. If he could take $24,000 off the top of that 40-something, when he goes to his tax table, his adjusted income is going to be $24,000 less. So therefore, he's paying less tax. Period. Now, if he can run up more than $24,000 in deductions, he'll beat that, right? But the average person can't run up more than $24,000 in deductions. I can't do that. I mean, even if I bought a brand new house, my taxes every year, I couldn't even write $24,000 unless I'm living in a $1 million house where I'm paying like $30,000 a year in taxes. Yeah, but that's the person that's not a middle class person now. You see my point?
I see.
But can I just say one thing? Claudia Tenney doesn't even dispute this fact, right?
Hold on there, Rodger.
Okay.
I don't think Claudia Tenney, who initially voted for this, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Her line in the sand that she talks about is because of exactly what Anthony is saying.
Right.
I hate to say this, but
she's saying what I'm saying. She already voted for what I said she shouldn't vote for, but she did. And
I'm trying to keep politics out of it.
No, we're keeping
she's a political. You're political. We're going to have a difference in politics on this. You're going to stay with party lines. That's fine. I'm trying to look at it as me as an average person. Say I'm making $80,000 a year. When I go, I can take $24,000 right off the top. I'm never going to achieve more than $24,000 in write-offs on my taxes.
Okay.
In this area. I pay $4,000 in taxes in this area.
Rodger,
that's not going to achieve me 24.
Yep, Rodger. Let me say this. See if I understand correctly.
Yes.
What is being said, and this is something that both sides here in New York agree on, Republicans and Democrats. I know you want to keep politics out of it, but even Anthony Brindisi and Claudia Tenney both agree on this, that after you remove some of the other state deductions, when it all comes out...
What state deductions? I'd like to know what them are. See, that's what you don't say. What state deductions are $24,000 that I could
when it all comes out in the wash, you will actually be worse off than...
No.
Okay.
I'm looking at it. How could I be... I have to achieve more than... I do my own taxes, so I know.
Rodger, I can't...
I'd have to have write-offs over $24,000 to beat that standard deduction. Either I go long form or short form, right? If I go short form, I take $24,000. If I go long form, I got to find deductions to achieve $24,000.
Rodger, can I ask you a question? Do you own a home?
Yes.
You own your home?
I pay taxes. I pay about $4,000 a year in taxes.
Okay.
So even if I was to try to use that,
and
let's say, come up with another $20,000.
And no one knows who you are.
You know?
Let's say your income is at like $80,000. Is that where?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Income 80. We're figuring a couple $80,000.
So is it possible?
For this area.
Is it possible that Rodger could actually get a tax cut?
It's 100% possible Rodger could get a tax cut. Here's my point,
okay,
Rodger.
Listen, Rodger.
I'm not saying that you are not going to get a tax cut.
Here we go.
Rodger, just listen.
Rodger,
just listen.
I'm not saying that you are not going to get a tax cut. Here is my point. There are many people in New York State, particularly in upstate New York, who are earning under $200,000, under $100,000, who will not see a tax cut under this bill. So let's have a bill where everybody in the middle class will see a tax cut. Everybody. Everyone in the top 1% in this bill is getting a tax cut. Every corporation is getting a tax cut. Everyone in the middle class cannot say the same thing. Let's focus on a tax bill. I think we do need a tax cut. Let's focus on a tax bill where everyone in the middle class will benefit. Right. Now where we're picking and choosing who will benefit and who will not.
Rodger,
because
you're talking. I can't let you talk over him. So now you can talk.
I'm sorry. I'm a registered Democrat, and I have a problem with the Democrats fighting this because I'm looking at it as me being an average person, being able to take $24,000 off my income no matter what I make. Right. I'm going to an adjusted income of less, and I'm going to pay less tax. I can't find $24,000 to do the long form to break that $24,000 benefit that they're giving me right off the start.
And for the record, Democrats are now the only ones that voted against this in New York State in the House. Right. There were Republicans that voted against it too. Certainly, Claudia Tenney was among 4 members in the Republican Party that voted for it.
Rodger, do you itemize your taxes?
Maybe some of the higher end houses, they're able to achieve 20.
All right, I got to let you go, Rodger. I appreciate it. John, you're on the radio from Bridgewater with a question for Anthony Brindisi.
Hey, good morning, Bill. Hey, Anthony, I got a quick question. I don't know if I heard it or not, but my wife and I built our home in 1989. We don't have an escrow on our mortgage, so we rely on our state and federal tax return to pay our taxes. Is this going to affect us?
I missed the last part.
Okay, what was that again?
I would like when we do our taxes, we don't have an escrow on our mortgage, so we use our tax return, the state and federal tax return, to pay for our taxes at the end of the year. And I'm just wondering, like we get our state and federal tax return, then we pay our taxes and whatnot. Is this going to affect our return?
It's hard to say, not knowing all of your specific situations. What I could say is that under this bill that's being debated right now, you will no longer be able to deduct your state and local taxes from your income tax, your federal income taxes every year, which many people who itemize their deductions, many people have out-of-pocket medical expenses that they itemize, many people have student loan debt that they itemize, many people have state and local taxes that they itemize, and those are all being taken away under this tax bill. So for many people, they may see a tax cut under this bill, but for a lot of people, they're not going to see a tax cut.
The point is that, interesting, John. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. So I have Carl saying the caller, Rodger, is absolutely right. Hold on, I've lost him now. Saying he's absolutely, that he is correct. I think the point that's being that you're making, and I'm trying to get this understand what you're saying here, is that Rodger very well may be getting a tax, and I might be,
Absolutely.
and Jeff might be, and
Correct.
Andrew might be, and you might be.
Absolutely.
But when you look at the numbers, there is a. At what point are we in a? At what point? What is the number that is too many people, quote unquote, in the middle class? At what point are we in a position where we need to say, okay, too many middle class members are now getting a tax increase on this?
I think we're at that point. And what I'm trying to.
And what is that number?
The
how
point,
many? How many? Do you have a percentage of middle class New Yorkers who will actually get an increase versus a tax decrease?
It depends. It's broken down. The studies that I've seen have been broken down through congressional districts. So, like I said before, in this district, 22nd, the congressional district, I'm just taking single filers now. 60% of the zip codes in the 22nd congressional district of single filers earning under $200,000 will get anywhere from a $450 increase to a $1,000 increase, because many people who itemize are not going to realize the benefits of this tax bill. So while Rodger may be getting a tax cut,
yes,
you're looking at
Carl might be getting a tax cut, and I might be getting,
which that's great. But
I love, by the way, if I'm getting a tax cut, I'm all for it.
Exactly, everyone is.
Yeah.
But looking at the big picture, you're looking at many people in the middle class are not getting a tax cut under this bill. They're getting an increase. Every corporation getting a record tax cut. People earning in the top 1% all getting a tax cut. They're happy. Then you're looking at what does it cost to do this? We're adding $1 trillion to the deficit. We're cutting Medicare. We're going to have to cut Social Security. We're cutting back on education programs. Let's have a tax cut, but let's make sure everybody in the middle class benefits. Let's make sure small businesses benefit. The corporations making record profit right now don't need a tax cut. All right, this trickle-down theory that they're somehow going to, that money's going to make it down to the middle class and working families is not shown to be true over past times that we've tried this. So let's have a tax cut, but let's make sure everybody in the middle class benefits. That's all I'm saying.
All right, okay. I have others that want to keep, and I have to say, I appreciate you because you're being grilled here.
Sure.
We don't have the ability to grill our congresswoman, and I'm sorry to be partisan here, but this woman. Our congresswoman refuses to come on this program.
I'm always happy to get grilled.
And I want you to know that grilling is what you should be getting. And opening the phone lines where people, as they're lining up right now, asking you, saying, I think you're wrong. I think you are absolutely wrong. It doesn't turn into a fight. And I can't get the congresswoman to give us that interview.
Right.
And to me, that's a shame. Because I think the people that are listening to the show right now deserve the opportunity to have that conversation. I'm just saying.
They deserve to have the opportunity on the radio. They deserve to have it at town hall meetings. They deserve to have it at many different forums, but they don't have that. And that's something I've always tried to do as a representative. I'm happy to go anywhere and talk to anyone and give my positions and listen to them.
Picking favorites here. I'm just picking the guy who'll talk to us. Okay? It's human nature, I'm afraid.